What's goody to any and everybody who may be listening? Now, the previous video cut off on me, even though, look, I was going in on Raphael Figueroa. So let's go ahead and finish, because baby, I gotta finish telling you why it was something about this individual, but it's much deeper than what I'm saying here that eventually would annoy me about him. And this is I do not like this individual the most, even though again I'm not seeing them as individuals. I'm seeing them as one huge big old piece of flubber or something like that. Now this shit is making my skin crawl to the maximum. Their makeup and their energy signature. But let me finish talking about Ralph. Okay. Again, I was about to get on number 2, which is his motherfucking physical appearance. Now, I knew that there was something about his physical appearance that was quite peculiar. It was quite off, and like that was the first thing that made me realize there's something not right about this, and there's something going on with this individual. So again, his physical appearance, it was the hairline. That hairline has been looking like a bird, like a baby bird, an ostrich. I'm picking up something like a baby ostrich. Something about his motherfucking hairline. Okay, and it's been like that since he was 18 or 19. Ain't no reason for no man to be walking around receding at that age. Okay, it was the shape of his face. He looked like a bird, like a baby bird or something like that ain't fully developed. That hairline, it was that hairline. His nose, that pointy shit. It was pointy, but it was also wide or something like that. I ain't seen Ralph in a long time, so I'm not sure what the bitch look like now. But this is what I remember. His skinny, scrawny body. For him to be up in that gym, trying to be up in the gym every day, every 2 days, the body was still skinny, scrawny, looked like the bones and the joints was broken. Okay, the way this individual moved his body, that's one of the main things for me, bitch. The first thing that you need to have in order with yourself before you get to looking out into this matrix, into these projections within the matrix, you need to make sure your mind and your body is in sync first. His mind and his body was completely out of sync. Okay, it very noticeable, because the bitch wore a size 12 or 13 shoe, and the way his feet went in opposites, that slew foot, the way his feet went into opposite directions as he drug his body along. Now I gotta say something about his mammy too, because it won't nothing but his mammy obsessed with this motherfucking reptile king up in church every Sunday, but praising the Lord. Well, what Lord is you praising? That old reptile king? Bitch, but I blame the mammy for his mind and his body being out of sync. All that motherfucking abuse that she put him through, her control mechanism, it was her. He didn't know how to go down inside his motherfucking body and heal none of that trauma, because she was always over him trying to control him and abusing the boy. What? Now I'm seeing what I was seeing in his body was unhealed trauma. And for me, karma, because he was still a part of that brotherhood anyway. This was karma. Okay, so them two work together in that fashion. Now we're gonna get to that to that HIV mess. So again, the hell was I saying? I lost my damn point. Oh yeah, his mind and his body being out of sync, and it being seen through the way he walked. Ralph looked nasty and disgusting. Now, didn't nobody like him. I gotta tell you that. Everybody tease him for some reason or other, but especially it's because of that trauma, all that motherfucking trauma that was hitting up in his body, and the way he moved his body. You could the way he slouched over, and the way his feet moved in opposite directions. That slew foot. He didn't have no love for himself or no self-respect. And again, this is all karma following him from him being a part of that brotherhood. Anyway. Okay. So it wasn't just his appearance, though, that made me not like him. The most. This was going to, like, this timeline. Now, they expected for this timeline to come into fruition. Where T-Baby. Now we have T-Baby, which is an aspect of myself. We are all here together. Mother in the crown, mother in the third eye, the throat, the heart, which had probably three different versions of mother within the heart. Now that heart was a very eventful chakra. Okay, but then we moved down into the solar plexus, the sacral, now the root. Oh, there was something that was going to be springing up below the root, underground, with myself as T-Baby, another baby boy, a brilliant. Now I'm glad now I got this part. And now that place is a very special place to me. I love that place. Okay, but that timeline will not be coming into fruition. Okay, but if it did, it was Ralph responsible for creating this motherfucking weapon for NASA. Or for these countries going to be used for some sort of war that would have caused the earth to be inhabitable on top of the earth and individuals having to live underground. Now that's the main reason now I really don't like the bitch. But let's go back to when we were a little close. Now Ralph and I were a little close, I have to admit, because me and Ralph used to be able to laugh and kiki and cackle and do the things. But see, I could not be around Ralph for too long. Because he would get to sucking and pulling my energy and doing things that he knew I didn't like. And trying to trigger me on purpose, such as just doing stupid shit. Okay? But we get down to this individual by the name of Buck, who is someone that I thought I loved but did not love, because at that time I really did not know what love was. This was a codependent relationship upon this individual by the name of Buck. Okay, but I was faithful to Buck. I was devoted to Buck. I did love Buck, and I was trying to help Buck. The thing about that was that at this time I saw the good in everybody. I did, and I saw the good. I thought I saw the good in Buck, but there was no good in Buck. And why was there no good in Buck? Because he was one of those creatures that I'm seeing, that I'm picking up on with this energy signature, and as a result, I'm not even really seeing them as individuals anymore. I'm seeing them lumped in all the same group, lumped up like some sort of flubber or some shit like that. Is what I'm seeing. That's why he wasn't a good, and there was no reason for me to see him as good. However, that brainwashing and that mind control and all those spells and that witchcraft from early life had me overly empathic. I was overly empathic and caring when I should not have cared about this individual at all. Okay, but nonetheless, I was trying to help this individual. Even though from the start he was telling on himself, he told on himself. Now we talking about Buck now. He told on himself, but we're gonna get back to Ralph, because what Ralph did was extremely insensitive. What he said was extremely insensitive, and I didn't owe that bitch shit for coming down there and quote living with him. Because number one, all this shit is mine. It shouldn't have been built in the first place. I didn't give them directions. I didn't give nobody directions or tell nobody to build no motherfucking societies and no buildings and no churches and no shit like this. For me to wind up being down here without one, and I'm the architect, bitch. You must be out your mind. Okay. Now, in terms of Buck, this individual gave me the trifecta. And I'm talking about HIV, I'm talking about herpes, and I'm talking about warts. This lifetime. Now, mind you, again, that these viruses and all of this, colds and flus, luckily, these are things that can be used to help get you up out of the matrix. This is shadow work. These are things that can help you do your shadow work and get you up out the status quo. Granted, but had I not known that this shit was diabolical, and again, it would not have been possible without this brotherhood setting it up and pitting me and my counterpart against each other in the way that they pitted us against each other. To have him going against me like that and depleting me of my energy for this death culture. Okay. And the fact that these viruses and illnesses and flus and colds, HIV, all of that was only possible because of us being down here in the root, in these bodies, these frail, now they frailer than ever, these bodies, after the accumulation, the slow accumulation of black orbs throughout the simulation, but especially as we get into this sacral with them, like, now these black orbs became something that everybody started to fear within the sacral. Okay, I'm seeing this clearly. But you have Mother sort of almost chasing behind Orunmila, almost. And you have Orunmila then raping me. Of course, he raped me at every level. But here we have Orunmila raping me in the middle of mid-sex. He transformed into this beast mid-sex, and this beast had spikes. There was like spikes coming out of his penis and piercing into the sides, into the walls of my vagina at this time, because at this time I was in my original body, which is my body, a female body. Now, when we talk about periods, when we talk about women having their monthly cycles, this is where that blood comes from that was gushing up out of my vagina at this time during this rape. And all of these black orbs entering into my body and freezing my light sparks into place as they sucked out the energy from my light sparks. These black orbs or this dark matter. The same shit that Maestro or Andy infected Orunmila with when we were on that ship. And then as we get down into the simulation, it coming into my body, my physical bodies in slow increments. This is where those periods come from. As well as childbirth coming down through the vagina. That was not a thing upwards in the body. Children being born down through vaginas. Because we were able to spring them forth through the chakra from which we were at any given time. So when we were in the heart chakra, I gave birth to my babies through the heart. They came through the heart. They formed inside of my heart, and then they came out of my heart. And they were not even babies when they came out. They were already like 5, 6 years old when they came out. It would seem that they were that age. But again, we didn't have ages. We didn't have, time did not exist in that way at that time. Quote time. Okay? So now, back to this Buck individual again, who gave me this trifecta of diseases, in which this was all a plan to take out soul energy, light sparks, and source fractals, which was again a plan to take out the supreme being, the most high, the exalted one, the creator of all, using that damn Bible to do it. Under the guise of this motherfucking reptile king, an octopus, who is the exact same being, by the way. Okay. So now Ralph. Now we were all within the same vicinity. Myself, Ralph, Buck, who again, Ralph fucked Buck, or Buck really fucked Ralph because Ralph was a big power bottom. He ain't had no ass either. The ass was fatter than mine. At this point, it was just bones right there. Buck fucked Ralph. Okay, and Ralph just had to fuck behind me in every instance. Even though I believe he fucked Buck first. I'm not sure. I don't know. I forgot about that. But in any event, Ralph stayed fucking the men that I fucked. And I would have to cuss Ralph out about it and get Ralph together about it. Now, this was a huge setup, by the way. He set me up. Okay. So here we have myself and Buck in this relationship. I'm gonna say a quasi relationship. Okay, because it wasn't a relationship. This was an individual who played with me. This individual played with my feelings while I sat around and waited for a commitment that I never got, which he always promised that he was gonna give me this commitment. He would come to me telling me things and then go behind my back and telling these other bitches different shit. Oh, by the way, him and his mammy, Buck, was doing some sort of witchcraft. That old black bitch that was under his spell as well. I used to see her like, damn, she do whatever her son tell her to do. The energy of Buck is like similar to the energy of Danielle. The way that Danielle and Rita interacted with them two being the two motherfucking stooges. It's how Buck and his mammy interacted. That old dumb fat black bitch. Okay, and I'm not, listen, now. Okay, I'm real mad, very. So I get diagnosed. Well. Let's slow down a little bit. Me and Buck get into this relationship, or whatever this is. By the time I'm already in it. I'm all the way in it with this individual. You know, we going out of town. We going on walks to the park. He playing his cards right to make me feel some sort of way. But it was fake. I was being set up. Okay. And by this time I had caught feelings. I was very emotional about something that happened. And I can recall the next day having a conversation with Ralph and being so emotional, being so upset, and even crying while this individual sat there laughing at me. Now, this is because Buck and Ralph had been fucking. I didn't know that they had been fucking, but Buck and Ralph was fucking behind my back. They were fucking behind my back. Okay, Buck was a nasty. Buck fucked anything. Any and everything. Very nasty. Okay. Now, so while I was back there grieving and crying about something that was happening, this bitch was laughing in my face. He was literally in my face laughing about me crying. I was crying, and he was laughing about it. Now, this is one of those individuals, again, that I said has that energy signature, that nasty, flubberous energy signature. I'm also picking up on something about Thoughtforms, too. Thoughtforms and Flubber. For some reason, I'm seeing hot air balloons. Something about hot air balloons, too. There's most definitely something about these hot air balloons that I'm picking up on. Much so having to do with this Flubber and these Thoughtforms and these creatures having that same energy signature. Okay. So okay, let's fast forward to now. Well, now I got HIV. Let's fast forward to the diagnosis and all of that. I get this HIV diagnosis. In the month of March in the year of 2012 with this motherfucker by this doctor who really, again, should not have been there, because upwards in the body, we were able to heal our own bodies. If anything should have popped up, which nothing ever popped up, because this wasn't possible until those orbs accumulated to such a degree, where, especially after I was raped, that down in the sacral, where the dick had spikes in it and all that blood was gushing up out of it, and then and I was kidnapped and then put into sex trafficking and all that. That's it wasn't possible, and so all that happened. So these doctors and these nurses and the whole system wasting my motherfucking resources, because we are dead smack in the middle of death culture. Okay. So I'm diagnosed with this HIV in March of 2012. Now, this is something that I am sort of bonding with Ralph over, even though it was a setup anyway. Okay, these individuals did all of this behind my back. I had moved down to Atlanta, Georgia with Ralph. Okay, now I gotta get into this, something separate about that check fraud shit that happened too, which I feel like was dark magic while I was down there staying with Ralph. Okay. But this was something that we sort of bonded over, even though Ralph acquired this disease first. Again, this was karma. This was his karma for him being a part of that brotherhood anyway, already getting them. But see, here I come. Now, this was their plan. They planned for this to happen. Okay? However, the thing about me was that I was able to transmute this energy. But before I could transmute it, we had Ralph, who he is trying to justify whatever he did with this weapon and all this shit. This individual tried to justify that by me not paying him as well, because I didn't pay the bitch shit, especially after I found out that he said that I deserved to catch this HIV. And the reason that he feel like I deserved to catch this HIV is because he felt like, girl, I molested him, is what he felt like. The bitch felt like I molested him, which I didn't. The bitch was 2 years younger than me. Which anyway, it was set up that way anyway for all this sexual shit, bitch. Prior to entering into this, I was not sexual at all. Me and my counterpart did not have sex. We didn't have dicks or pussies to have sex with. This day shit. All this sexual shit that they use against you. Try to use against you. And using that Bible to do it. Calling you a sinner. and things of this nature. This individual tried to justify what he did with that motherfucking weapon downwards in the body. My self-esteem, baby, because knowing that I didn't molest him, that we both did this shit together. Anyway, I was not an adult. How could I fucking molest somebody? And I'm 14 and he 12. We both children. Ain't had no business doing what the fuck we was doing. Anyway, that dumb bitch. That's why I don't like him. That's the main reason I don't like him. Okay? Furthermore, that ain't my child. He didn't come from me. He didn't spring forth from me. He sprung forth from them black orbs that interfered, that had the nerve to try to come and interfere with my birthing. That flubber, that nasty shit. Them Thoughtforms. Okay, where we get? How far? Oh, like this was a long one. But it's clicking. Okay? Now, this individual, Ralph, said that I deserved. He said that I deserved to acquire this HIV. But again, this is the sick and twisted, convoluted views of an individual who manipulated, who you got hold on. I advise anybody I'm walking by not to even look in my direction. Okay? Whew. But anyway, the manipulation. It's the manipulation for me. These manipulation tactics and these twisted and convoluted. Because I caught HIV because of Ralph, really. It was because of Ralph. Okay? Anyway. Now let's move on down to me having the virus and everything of this nature. I get diagnosed with it. Now this was before I moved down to Atlanta, but I get diagnosed with it. I call Sharita on the phone. This bitch acting hysterical about it. It won't no need for her to act hysterical because I wasn't hysterical. Now she was acting more hysterical than I was. The bitch did not give a fuck. She expected to be my caretaker, and I'm also picking up on something about this motherfucking insurance policy that they took out to you know, have that money, for which I died at one point within one of these loops, and I seen them spending that money that they got off of that insurance policy, that fraudulent insurance policy. Well, somebody signed my name on that insurance policy. Okay. So I'm diagnosed with this disease. The doctor tell me about it. She was cold and heartless. The bitch was a soulless being who came and gave me the results. That was witchcraft. It was dark magic. Okay. So we move on. You know, this was emotional. When I found this out, this was extremely emotional. I knew it was witchcraft or something like that. I knew it was something about it. It wasn't real. I knew it was like a crown chakra attack. My whole chakra system was being attacked, but I could specifically feel my crown chakra being attacked. And I just knew that everybody knew. I knew that, like, as I was going past people that they knew that they could, like, that was some sort of energy that they was using to harvest. I could see a lot of soulless beings. It was a lot of soulless beings coming out at this time, showing themselves. And I could actually feel them. I could feel those attacks. And I just knew that there was some type of psychic link or connection going on where they knew something. Okay. Aside from that, we have Ralph's mammy, the bitch who was obsessed with the Reptile King, the dying Reptile King, the dead Reptile King, bitch. Y'all, I can guarantee you, y'all won't see the light of day again. None of y'all. It's guaranteed. But this Reptile King, she was obsessed with. So one day, I came back from somewhere. Now, we were staying with Charlene at this time, myself and Sharita. Okay? We were staying over at Charlene's house, which is Ralph's mama. The bitch that abused him so much to where he had all that motherfucking trauma inside his body. Especially them damn fingers. Girl. But, we were staying over there, and I came back from somewhere. But I was out and about, and I was not taking my medicine at this time. So, like, you can really see, like, the lymph nodes. You can see the lymph nodes. You could see my lymph nodes in the back of, like, my ear and stuff like that. Like, they were big and prominent, because this was when I had first acquired the virus, and, like, it was a lot of the disease was in my system. So this bitch had the nerve to call it out very loudly in front of Sharita. Okay, like, oh, what's going on? Like, I see this. I forgot exactly what she said, but the point is that she called it out. And she knew when I did not tell her that I had this virus. And it was not because of those lymph nodes that she knew I had this virus. It is because her and Sharita had already been talking about it. It was already being talked about when I told Sharita knew not to tell no motherfucking body, but this is the thing. She had been already talking about it. The whole family had been talking about it. All them bitches have been going around talking about it. Oh, they just knew, like, oh, that magic. Oh, it's working. Oh, we got her. We got him. Oh, they just knew they had me. They just knew they had me. Now, I'm talking about this was systemic. It wasn't just them. It was the doctors. All the hospitals that I was going to. It was the motherfucking therapist that I was going to see. This was systemic. All of it. The whole system. Against one. Trying to take me out. And I knew that they were trying to take me out. I know it. I was saying that even then. Oh, they're trying to take me out. I can recall one day sitting up in the therapist's office. But she wasn't in there, but I just knew. I was like, they trying to take me out. That was the first time I said that shit. They trying to take me out. Anyway, now this was a long one, and this one was a long one for a reason. We have Celestial back. Welcome, mother. Now I gotta tell you, mother, you are the mother of all mothers. Now the ruler that was right. After you ended this lifetime, you became the ruler. Okay, now you are the mother of all mothers. The ruler that's under you is the ruler of all rulers, and now you even have the ruler even bowing down to you. Girl, now the ruler does not bow down to anybody, but she is bowing down to you. Okay, because you are the one who set up there and gave birth to her. Really, even though y'all are the same, it's just at different levels. Okay, even me now in this boy body. Could you have ever imagined being in a boy body? We are the same. Me and you are the same, baby. But we had to be in this boy body here. It was for our own protection. Okay? When you think about it, they tried it, but this was still for our own protection. Okay? And again, you have all of them bowing down to you. We all love you. We are glad you are here, and baby, you are the most powerful one out of all of us. Okay. Okay. Now there was one more thing I wanted to say. Like I said, yeah, you the mother of all mothers. And you even got the ruler bowing down to you, who baby, she don't bow down to nothing or nobody, but she is bowing down to you, and she love you. She love you so much. And then you got T-Baby down there about to cry. You got everybody, all of us about to cry, because we glad you here. Now, what we gonna need from you is the will, that power you got. We gonna need for you to heal, continue to heal. It ain't Aruma's fault. It ain't his fault. We need you to recognize that it's not his fault. Okay, and we need him as well. Okay, so that we can get this justice. Thank you.